live here on 12radio.com. I'm excited to be here with you today, as I always am on my new day Fridays. I'm really enjoying this day and enjoying this time. So I hope you've been here with us this morning. You know that we had the Friday morning show with C.A. Brooks, and then we had the Dr. Elisa show with Dr. Elisa Robin, and now me. And it makes for a fun day. I love radio day. I'm always jazzed when I get up and go, I've got a show today. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk to you guys. So I'm excited to be here with you. I will be taking your questions and comments and requests for readings and healings in the chat room. So the easiest way to get there is to go to 12radio.com and click on chat. That will bring you into our Facebook group, which you will see myself and lots of other people chatting there. If you haven't joined before, just ask, and my producer Scott will let you right in the door. My chat room is the pinned post at the top of the page. There's a banner there that says on Facebook Live right now. And so you can watch the show if you would like to there in the chat room, or as also live on YouTube Live. So you could go to YouTube and search for me, Christy Brower, and you will find my channel, and you'll find me live there as well. I know that not everybody's a big fan of Facebook, especially after things that have happened recently. And so I felt like it might be a good idea to give you some options as far as, different ways to interact with me. So I now have YouTube available as well. You can comment on the video in YouTube, and if you ask a question or ask for a reading, I will comment back to you live. So those are all the ways to get connected. I am excited because I have a brand new light. When you do Facebook Live and YouTube Live and stuff like that, you discover how inadequate the lighting is in your house. And I have been struggling a little bit with lighting on my shows for a long time, and I've tried a lot of different things, different lamps, different angles, all kinds of stuff. And then Robert Underwood, you guys know Robert, he has Living the Good Life on Tuesdays, told me about this thing called a diva light. I was immediately kind of turned off by the name because I'm not what I would say. I'm not what I would call a diva. However, it's a diva light or a ring light. So it's a light that's meant for taking video of yourself or taking pictures of yourself. And I just got it yesterday. So I hope that you appreciate my lighting in my video, because I think it's the best lighting I've ever had. I'm really, really pleased with it. Although it's weird because I'm looking kind of almost directly at this very bright light the whole time that I talk to you. So I'm glad I don't have to look at it all the time. I will say that. But I like it a lot. It slowly over time, I'm learning. Like, I have a new webcam. And so now I'm on webcam instead of on cell phones on tripods or on my webcam that's built into my laptop. I actually have a webcam on a tripod behind my laptop and my diva light. So I'm coming up in the world, you guys. I'm kind of getting there. So I'm excited about all of that, because I plan to be doing more things on video, and have discovered that in order to do more things on video, I need better technology. So I have invested recently, and I'm really happy with so much to talk to you about today. It's sort of like in my head, like, I don't even know where to begin. But I think what I'll begin with are my classes at 12 Academy, because I have 2 classes coming up. This first one is coming up on Saturday morning. So I don't want you to miss this. This is called Get the Relationship You Want. I'm doing a lot of work on this right now. You guys know that I'm writing a book, and this is the topic that I am writing about, is relationships, and not just any old relationships, but relationships for people in the metaphysical community. Relationships for all of us here, light workers, light warriors, mystics, wizards, whatever you call yourself. For us specifically in this subgroup of society, really, because I see that it's a big problem, and it's something that I have been working with lots of people on for a long time. This pattern that we tend to get into, where we repeat negative relationships over and over again. And I've had my own experiences with this in the past. You guys know that I've been with my wife for a really long time now, but I had some trouble with this very same thing in my past. And so I want to share some things that I have figured out, some keys to solving this problem. My book will be out near the end of the year, and it is going to be about this specifically. But I'm going to be teaching about it. I'm offering coaching about it now. I'm offering all kinds of stuff because this is an area where I feel like I can say I'm an expert. I can say I have worked with so many people and helped people to be successful in finding the relationship that they want. Sometimes the answer to that question is not necessarily what you think it is when we're first looking at it. So it's a process to go through. So, in order to best promote that or best introduce you to it, I have a class this Saturday where we're going to talk about the first principle that I'm working on here. So here's what I say about my class. Do you feel like you've tried it all and you still don't have the relationship you want? You may have already been meditating and taking classes on relationships and healing, and yet you're still alone. Have you considered giving up and just living with your cat for the rest of your life? I have actually heard people say that to me. That's why I say it. Well, don't give up because there is hope to have the relationship that you want, and I can show you how. So I can help you to look at how to solve the relationship problem for good for you. And the beginning of that is this class on Saturday. It's at 9 a.m. Pacific on 12academy.com. So, of course, it's a teleconference class. You will receive an MP3 recording of the class after, so you don't have to attend live if you just want to hear what I have to say. I'm going to be talking about how to break the pattern. So if you are in a pattern of repeating relationships that do not work out, I'm going to talk to you about how to break that pattern. So we're going to explore our patterns in relationships and what is it that we are repeating. I think we first have to come to that point of understanding it, and then how do we break it? And that's the first step. So that is this Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific. I would love to have you there if this sounds like you, if this sounds like something you're struggling with in a class that you would appreciate. I look forward to that. Then the other class that I have coming up, you guys know I have been teaching my Master Healer class series. I just finished my first 16-week round of this class, and I am getting started again in September with another Master Healer series class. So this is a 16-week certification program, and it is an absolutely life-changing experience. I will say that it was life-changing for me. It's life-changing for the people who have taken it. You've probably heard some of them talk about it already here on radio because some of the people who took the class are also advisors here at One to Listen. And you've heard it in the chat rooms probably. This has been a transformational experience. And I am really excited to teach it again with a new group of people. I keep my group small because there is a lot of one-on-one contact. So it is 16 one-hour classes over a 4-month period, along with daily contact through a forum, just an old-fashioned, easy, simple forum where you will have a partner every week, somebody else in the class that you will work with. So as we learn the skills, as we learn the energy healing skills, then you will have someone that you practice with every single day. So you will give and receive healings every day, working on yourself, working on someone else, receiving from someone else. When the class is done, you will have completed somewhere around 100 healings on another person, not to mention all the work that you do on yourself. It is a significant amount of experience because the skills matter in energy healing, but what matters more is the experience. The more you do it, the better you get. If you are looking to just be better at healing yourself, taking care of you and people in your family, this is a great class for you. If you are looking at hanging out your shingle as a healer, you really want to get started as a healer and charge for your services and, work out of your house, or if you want to go work in a spiritual center or something, this is also the class for you. You will get the experience that you need to get that started if that's something that you want. So here are some things that you will learn in this class. You will learn basic, intermediate, and advanced energy healing skills, self-healing, healing with crystals, understanding the chakras and the aura on a deeper level, balancing the energy body, clearing blocks, trusting and enhancing your intuition, cord pulling, dark entity attachment clearing, ethics, boundaries, how to price your sessions, and so much more. So you will communicate very regularly with me and your peers. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to ask questions as they come up. And I will answer questions in the forum, and then I also answer them in class. This really takes commitment. This is a 16-week class. You are expected to attend every single class and participate regularly with your partner if you feel like you're ready to take that leap and really step into your role as a healer. This is your chance to do it. So I encourage you to register. It starts on September 3rd. So the classes are 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on Monday nights. And so we meet for 50 minutes every Monday. And then you take the skills that you learned in that class and then you use them throughout the week with your partner. So feel free to reach out to me if you have questions about this class. I know that it is a lot to take on. And so some people, have some questions before they do it. That's okay. I want to encourage you, though, that if this is something that you've really wanted to do and you're ready to make the commitment, this is your opportunity. I'm taking eight-ish people in this class. I don't take a large group because there's a lot of one-on-one contact, and I want to make sure that you have a lot of connection with me on a regular basis. So I don't want to take too many people. But I'm looking forward to class. I want you in there if this is something that you want. So I look forward to hearing from you. And if you hear this and you think this is exactly me, this is what I want, go register for the first class. It is a limited space, and so once the class is full, I will stop registration. You won't be able to register any further. So it's not something you necessarily want to wait on. If you feel like this is something you really want to do, I would get registered right away because the class will fill up. My last one did as well. So those are two really important things that I'm doing right now, things that really matter to me and that I'm very happy to share with all of you. Let's see. Want to get to the chat room a little bit. I know there are a few questions here. We'll get there to you guys. Okay, so my topic today, and some of you already know this, you're already asking questions about it, so you must have read my article in the Power Peak, which is Mark Husson's newsletter. If you don't get that, you can go to 12house.com to sign up for it. But I talked about staying strong on the energy plane. So resilience and energy. And so that's our topic for today. So you may or may not know, but I've been hosting talk radio for 8 years. I just had my anniversary in July. Is my 8-year anniversary in doing this, which is exciting for me. I love radio so much. I fell in love on my very first live show. You've heard me tell this story probably, but our very first incarnation of the Psychic Sisters was a call-in show on Blog Talk Radio 8 years ago. On that first show, it was Katie and I on the show together, my sister Katie, and we had 10 callers. I've never been so overwhelmed in my life watching that call queue fill up. I was totally unprepared for how radio would affect my energy. I never really thought about what it meant to have all of those people and people that I didn't know plugging into me during the show. After the show, I was totally exhausted. Which seemed strange to me because it was a really good experience. I loved what I did. It was really fun talking to people. I loved the readings that I did, but I was beat. So I learned that being connected to people on radio has a significant drain on my own personal energy. Had to understand the energy dynamics of radio. So people listening felt connected to what I had to say, and so they had a tendency to plug into me during the show. So afterward, I was exhausted because there was this drain of my energy. Well, I knew that I wanted to keep doing radio, and I also knew that I couldn't keep doing it like that because it was wearing me out. So, what I learned is that I needed to push my energy out into the world as I was speaking on radio, like sending a burst of love and positivity to everyone listening, so that I could share myself and give everyone something of what they needed. But then it was also an opportunity for me to feel energized. So, instead of pulling my energy in, I pushed my energy out. I gave energy freely. I turned my energy on. If you're a healer, you know what that means, and I sent it out. And I still do that on every single show, because if I do that, everyone has a positive experience and I don't come away from it exhausted. There are many experiences in our lives that can create exhaustion on the energy plane. We sometimes it's just an individual person that is so exhausting. Sometimes it's a situation or a group of people. Sometimes it's somewhere we have to go every single day, like a job. Sometimes it's a family member that we live with on a regular basis. So, this is a question that I get probably multiple times a week is, what do I do? I have to go to my job. This person drains me. How do I take care of myself in this situation and keep my job? Which is a brilliant question, and one that I think we regularly have to address, because it is not as though it's a problem that you just fix once and then it's all gone. This is a daily practice. This is daily maintenance of the energy body in order to maintain good energy health in yourself, and be able to interact and do the things that you need to do. That is energy resilience. So, using our thoughts to control our energy bodies for a positive result is the key to resilience. I talk about this a lot, but it's something that we have to be reminded of, because our energy bodies, although we may be rather aware of them from time to time, we don't actually physically see them. Like, you see your physical body, you know you have to take care of it. You can tell if your teeth need brushed, or if your hair needs combed, or if you need to take a shower. It's much easier to tell physically what we need to do to take care of ourselves than it is on the energy plane. That we have to have use some intention for. And slowly over time we get drained, we wear out, we get run down in that realm, because we don't always notice it until it's already gotten to be a bad place. So, we always unintentionally and unconsciously control our energy bodies with our thoughts. So, if you think things like, this person drains me, I'm exhausted every time I'm around them, guess what? That person drains you and you're exhausted every time you're around them. Like, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you tell yourself this is what the experience is, that it is the experience that you have. We know that to be true. We've all, learned a lot about that through, positive affirmations and Louise Hay. And, there's lots of great work out there about it. But it's one thing to talk about it philosophically, it is entirely another to live it. So, here is what I would recommend. When you feel drained by a situation, the first thing that has to happen is a shift in your thinking. It's not that you have to do anything, and it's not that the other person has to change. It's that you have to shift your thinking. So, instead of, this person drains me all the time, I'm exhausted, you might change it to, this person needs a lot of love. I can tell that they do. I'm going to make some effort to give it to them. And so when you're with that person, you push love out to them. You give them love. They don't have to take anything from you. You give it to them freely. You push your energy out toward them instead of drawing your energy back toward yourself, which just draws them toward you as well. You push it out and you send out love. If this person seems to be very draining, it is likely that they need something from you, that they are struggling themselves, and that your presence is a grounding source, is an energizing source. Something about you helps them. You don't have to give up your own energy, but you can intentionally give out love to someone who is struggling like that. I have worked with many coworkers in my mental health days working as a social worker who were drained and exhausted and frustrated and irritated and wanted to dump all their problems on me, or, wanted me to commiserate with how terrible this or that was. And I learned early on that getting involved in that did nothing but make me miserable. And it created this situation where I now had some sort of involvement in their problem, which I didn't want, you know? And so I discovered that sending them love, pushing love out from my heart to them was a way to give them something that they needed and also choosing to not engage. You know, if they wanted to talk about how terrible things were, I would say, you know, honestly, I feel like things are going pretty well. I'm all right. And just not, you know, play that one up game in that game where you get involved in you know, talking about all the woe is me problems and complaining doesn't get you anywhere. And, you know, if they choose to make a change, great. And if they don't, you've done your part. But pushing your energy out from yourself and intentionally sending love, intentionally sending peaceful energy to someone who is struggling, who is seems to be emotionally overwrought, that is a really great way to get some help for them and also to help yourself so that you're not just getting stuck in a situation where you're always taking on something that bothers you that's somebody else's problem. You know that I worked in a metaphysical store. I used to own one, and sometimes I had a customer walk in the door who I immediately knew had some kind of ill intent for me. I could feel it emanating from them in waves, and usually it was something to do with they had been hurt or what I was doing was against their beliefs or they had a mental illness that they were struggling with. There was always something, but sometimes when you work in that kind of an alternative place, some people come in to attack you. That is their intent, and you can feel it emanating from them when they walk through the door. So in my mind, what I would do is I slammed the energy door shut. So in this case, I did not send love out to them because I knew it wasn't going to be accepted. I knew it was going to be a way to get in at me because it wasn't just they were struggling with themselves, they intended harm to me in some way. And so I would close the door. In my mind, I closed my energy door, which meant that my bubble, this arm's length level of energy that we all work with, was now sealed. Now nothing could get in. Everything that was happening on the outside would stay on the outside. I would stay on the inside. It kept me safe from energy attack, an attachment, or whatever else this person intended. It also helped me to stay calm in the moment if I needed to talk someone down or ask someone to leave or whatever it was that I needed to do, because I've had to do all of those things. The thing that we have to understand is that there are all different kinds of people in the world, and not all of them have our best interest at heart. And it's okay to close yourself off for protection. You don't want to do it all the time and you don't want to do it permanently, but there are times when you need to close the door. And if that's all the visual that you need, close the door and lock it. That is your thoughts controlling your energy body. I just sealed my bubble. I'm not letting any of that in. Whatever that is can stay over there. I've had an experience actually this week. I posted a video on Instagram that was a video of me talking about some of this new relationship stuff that I'm doing and encouraging people to reach out to me if they would like to know more. And I've had a couple of haters on my video. I've had some really wonderful people and questions and, you know, lots of interaction, really great stuff too. But I've had a couple of people who, you know, the first guy called me a liar. And I know because I've worked with people for a really long time that that's about him and not about me. But it was one of those moments where I went, "Oh, I'm closing the door. I'm not letting anything in here." You know, I did try to have a peaceful conversation with him because I don't believe in attacking back. It doesn't work. All it does is escalate and make the problem worse. So I did try to have a civil conversation with him, but I shut the door. No energy exchange happening. I had another one that said, bad vibes forever to me, wishing ill on me, obviously. I know, especially when we're talking about relationships, that people who respond that way do so because they're hurting and because they've been through some bad experiences. And so I don't take it personally because I know it's not really about me. But it is a time that I choose to protect myself and use my thoughts to be resilient in the energy world. again, I closed my door on this person and I just, messaged back that, only love to you and then moved on from it. Being in the public eye, doing radio, doing the work that I do, I've had to learn quickly and learn on my feet how to protect myself in situations like that. So I love to share this because I know that not everybody has had as much experience with this as I have. And because of that, it can be difficult. If you're sort of caught off guard by it, what do you do in the moment? Let's see here. When I was working as a social worker, I discovered that many of my clients were plugging into me. It was like plugging in an extension cord to power themselves because they were struggling and didn't have enough energy themselves. These were people that were struggling with emotional problems that felt safe and stable with me, which is what I wanted as a social worker. But I did not want the life force energy drain because it just creates dependency, which is never my goal. I always want autonomy and empowerment, never dependency. So I couldn't just allow that to keep happening because that's not healthy for anybody. And so I learned to use that same thing that I do on radio to send life force energy to them, love from my heart while I was with them in order to help them and protect me at the same time. So there's this universal law, I would call it, with energy, that generally energy can't flow in and out at the same time. If you are pushing energy out, you are not drawing energy in. And so that's why I say we we push energy out from ourselves in order to give another person what they need while not taking in anything that they might be sending us. So, I'm an empath. Most of you are empaths. You know how this is. We pick up emotional energy from the people that we come into contact with. So, I was discovering that my bubble, that energy that emanates from me at arm's length, would fill up with other people's emotional energy. So that can be a real problem because then you start feeling things that don't really belong to you. You start feeling overwhelmed and worn out. Your vibration gets down, and we struggle with all kinds of physical symptoms when that starts to happen. Your physical body struggles, your emotional body struggles. That it's not a great experience, and so we have to learn how to take care of ourselves in a situation like that, and not take on all that other people's emotional energy. Now, one of those ways is to use your thoughts to control your energy body and push out love. But what happens if, you know, you haven't been taking good care of it, or you've become overwhelmed by a situation and you're carrying that emotional energy around? So, what I did was I wrote a meditation called Clear Your Bubble, and most of you are familiar with it, but I thought we would do it today just as a reminder of how to release that energy. If, in fact, you do pick up a bunch from other people, what are you going to do with it? You don't want to just keep it forever, you want to release it. So, Scott, if you don't mind queuing up our music, let's do Clear Your Bubble together. So everybody just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Allow your body to settle and your mind to go quiet. Bring your attention to your bubble. This is the level of your aura that emanates from your body out to arm's length. It creates a bubble all the way around your body, front and back. Take a moment to observe what is in your bubble. Do you feel or see things floating here? Identify them. Are they things that belong to you, or are they things that belong to other people? How does the energy in your bubble feel? Does it feel good and high vibrating and like it's you? Does it feel like you're carrying some burdens in here that belong to other people? Are you feeling anxiety about something that you're not anxious about? Are you feeling sad or depressed? Are you feeling worn out? Are you feeling like you need to avoid the world? All of these things are indications that your bubble is full. you have picked up too much stuff. So we're going to clear your bubble. First of all, visualize next to you a vortex of white light opening up in the earth. In this vortex, we will send anything that no longer serves you, that doesn't belong to you, that's low vibrating, that isn't helpful to you. We're going to send everything into the vortex of white light and it will be transmuted into light, and it will be released from you in all directions of time. So now you're going to take a garden hose and you're going to screw it onto the side of your bubble. And you're going to take the other end of the garden hose and you're going to drop it into the vortex of white light. And now you watch as through the pressure that the vacuum that the garden hose has created, all of the energy that is in your bubble starts to be released. It starts to flow out the garden hose and be transmuted into the vortex of white light. So all of those things that are floating around in there that don't belong to you are being released. So just allow that to happen for a moment. Don't hang on to anything. Don't try to keep anything. The goal here is to have an empty bubble. Okay, once your bubble is empty, unscrew the garden hose. And now you have this empty bubble. What do we do with that? Well, that bubble is meant to be filled with your energy. This is your barrier, your divider, your space between you and the rest of the world. So we're going to fill this bubble up with energy from our hearts. So bring your attention to your heart chakra and get a feel for what colors are there in the energy in your heart. Don't worry about what colors are supposed to be in the heart chakra. In this exercise, it is simply about what is in your heart. So today for me, I see some pink and some apple green, some robin's egg blue, and a little bit of gold. So once you've identified the colors in your heart chakra, push the energy out through your heart and start to fill up your bubble. Just allow that energy to flow, and it's going to fill up your bubble, starting at your feet, and it will work all the way up through your bubble, filling your bubble up with your heart energy. Just give that a moment to fill up. Very good. Okay. So now, instead of a bubble full of other people's emotional energy, you're full of your own heart energy. This should feel lighter to you. It should feel more positive. It should feel happy and peaceful to you. This is how you replace that energy. This is how you release it and replace it. You can do this exercise every day. If you are an empath that feels like you pick up this energy all the time, and maybe you pick up a lot of energy from coworkers, for example, when you get home from work, or even when you're sitting in your car before you leave your office, do clear your bubble and release all of that energy and fill yourself back up. This does several things. First of all, it feels much better for your bubble to be filled with your own energy. This is the energy you are responsible for. This is you. It also strengthens that barrier. So that bubble should be a little barrier between you and the rest of the world. It should push out so that other things don't come in, right? There should be some tension. Think of it sort of like a balloon. Like you can poke a balloon, but unless you pop a balloon, you can't put anything else inside of it once it's been blown up and tied, right? You want your bubble to feel like that, like there's a little bit of tension on the outside edge that pushes things back, that keeps things out of your space. This also raises your vibration. which is really important for all of us. Having a high vibration means that we are functioning well energetically, emotionally, physically. We are connected spiritually. We feel good in our bodies. We feel good about who we are. We feel like we're on a path going in a direction that we want to go, and that we have a connection that guides us with that. A low vibration can make us feel disconnected and sad and hopeless. We want to have a high vibration. It's part of being energetically healthy. So this raises your vibration and it gives you that. And it just gives you that space. Like you are here, the edge of your bubble is out here, which means that you have some space between yourself and the rest of the world. So you're walking around in this little chamber of protection that allows you to come into contact with all kinds of situations, all kinds of people, and you have you, and you're here, they're out there. You can interact, you can empathize, you can listen, you can support, but you don't have to take on anything. So, Clear Your Bubble is available for free download on my website, which is christybrower.com. If you go there, you just click on free meditations. You'll see that I have a whole bunch of them there, and Clear Your Bubble is one of them. It's a great little MP3 to download, like to your phone. So if you're struggling, if you had a rough day at work, if you feel like everybody is, carrying around a massive load of negative energy and you've picked up a bunch of it, do Clear Your Bubble. And you will feel that you've released all of it. It will all just go. And when that happens, to respond to the emotional energy we're carrying around that isn't ours. And so you may develop some anxiety that you don't even know where it came from or why you have it. You might feel sad. You might feel angry. And if you really question, I talk about giving yourself as an empath a reality check where you kind of look around your room and you look around the space where you are and you go, am I okay? Do I have anything to be angry about? Do I have anything to be anxious about? Do your reality check. If you don't, your bubble's full and you've got other people's stuff floating around in there, and it's time to clear your bubble. So this is a great opportunity to release that and go. That's why I recommend doing it every day, and why I recommend doing it at the end of your day as you're coming home, so that you're not bringing with you whatever drama happened that day. You can just let it be released. So I encourage all of you, if this is something that you are working on and want more help with, to do Clear Your Bubble every single day. Now, occasionally you still have to have some help from someone else. I do, everyone else does. Sometimes we get our vibrations too low, or we just pick up something that's so heavy that it's difficult for us to release on our own. And that's why you see somebody like me, because I can help you with that. But I want you always to be working toward being more independent. One of my goals always is to increase everyone's energy intelligence, your understanding and knowledge of yourself and your energy body, and your ability to have control over it, your ability to heal it. We all can. We need each other. We all have different perspectives, and some of our really, really deep stuff needs help from somebody else. But daily maintenance of your energy body is truly how you develop resilience, and is truly how you develop some autonomy, how you become in control. Do you ever feel like you don't have control over your emotions and you're just all over the place and you're feeling sad or you're feeling angry, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling anxious all the time and you don't have control? That is a person who is carrying around too much emotional energy from someone else. It is likely not all yours. So it's a good opportunity to assess that, clear your bubble, and have a break from that kind of energy. Nobody wants to feel that way all the time. Okay. I wanted to share with you so when I think about energy resilience, I talk a lot about stones, and one stone that I find really, really important when it comes to energy resilience is selenite. You've heard me talk about it a lot. I call it the great transmuter. It's a salt that transmutes low vibrating energy into light. It is a clearing stone. So I have a brand new piece of selenite I want to share with you, and it's a great big piece. So I'm going to hold it up in the video. Hopefully you can see it there. This is a great big chunk of selenite. I bought it at a rock and gem show recently, and it's sitting here on my desk. And sometimes I like to just sit with my hands on it because it helps to release that low vibrating energy. It also serves as a really good reminder to me that I need to work on that low vibrating energy, that I need to release it from myself. And having this stone around helps me to do that. I have a selenite tower that sits here between my computers, has the same purpose. But this piece I really love. It's hard to see on the video. I wish you could see, but it's actually quite clear. Which is, it's just beautiful. It's a really nice chunk. And so it's my new pal sitting here when I'm just sitting here at my desk. If I'm on radio or talking or something, I just put my hands on it. And it helps me to release that low vibrating energy. And it helps me to remember, hey, if I'm not feeling so great, I might need to clear my bubble. It's an awareness that we have to develop. I know this happens to me. I'm sure that it happens to lots of you as well, that my vibration will get really low before I recognize it because I'm busy, I'm doing things, I'm thinking, I'm, involved in other stuff. And suddenly I'm like, man, I feel like crap. Why? Why do I feel like crap? And then I'll, take a look at my bubble and realize, oh, I haven't been doing this as much as I should have been. I've been picking up too much stuff from other people. It's time to refocus my thinking on myself and taking good care of myself. It's really about self-care. But always remember that your thoughts control your energy body. You want to think thoughts that tell your energy body to keep you protected, to keep you open, to keep you connected to people, but at the same time, protected from other people's emotional energy. And you can do that however you want. I mean, I'm a big fan of the wall of bulletproof glass. Just visualizing that, thinking that my energy body is now a wall of bulletproof glass, which means that nothing's getting in that I don't want to get in. And it means that, I'm not sending anything out either. If I might be having trouble sending things out, maybe I'm angry or frustrated or irritated. I don't want to be sending my energy to other people any more than I want them sending it to me. So I use that wall of bulletproof glass to create a barrier because in my mind, my energy body creates that wall of bulletproof glass when I talk about it, when I think about it, when I, build it in my head, it happens. I know that that's an abstract idea. I also know that it works because I've been doing this for a long time and I have many people tell me that. So maybe yours isn't a wall of bulletproof glass. Maybe it's something else. But if you have something in your mind that you think, if I just create this with my energy body, I have space between myself and them, their energy doesn't get in at me, then use it. Feel free. It doesn't have to be the wall. It can be other things. Okay. I have a couple of questions in YouTube. Violet says, will we be receiving a recorded version for the relationship class? Yes. You will be receiving a recorded version after. You'll get a link to download the MP3. Will participants need to be live the whole session? That really depends on you. I mean, if you can only be there for half the class and then you want to listen to the recording later, that's fine. I will have a Q&A session at the very end. And so if you feel like you want, to ask me questions, you can do that at the end of the class. The other thing is, though, you guys know, if you register for the class, then you and I are connected through the Click for Advisor system. You can email me questions. And so if you don't see the class live and you have questions, just send me an email and I'll answer your questions. It's no big deal. Because I see what you're saying. Violet says that she's going to be busy tomorrow and is counting on the recording. Well, don't worry, Violet, because you'll get everything that you need from the recording. You won't have to be there live, and you can always ask me questions after the fact as well. So thank you for that question. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in that class. Let's see. Okay, so I want to get to a few of your reading requests. Okay, Marina says, I do need to stay strong and focusing on job hunting. So much unfairness going on around me at work. Okay, so here's the thing about unfairness. First of all, we all know it's going to happen at every job we've ever had, right? I can't think of a job I've ever had that there wasn't some unfairness involved. or in my perception, unfairness, right? Another person might find that it's very fair because they got what they needed or wanted, and you might feel it's unfair because you didn't. The bottom line is always going to be there in one way or the other. So if you can shift your focus away from that, there's nothing you can do about the unfairness. All you can do is do what's best for you. If you're in a position of knowing this job makes me miserable, I don't want to be here anymore, put your thoughts on, I have a great job. I'm developing a great job. I'm moving toward a great job. I have the job I want, and focusing in that area and really work. I call this being a good steward of your thoughts. When the unfairness stuff sneaks in, you remind yourself, all this does is keep me in a bad situation. I don't want to think about unfairness anymore. I'm thinking about that great job that's coming my way, and shift your attention and energy. That's one way to stay strong, is just don't play the game. Don't get involved, because the unfairness, it's not going to change no matter what you do. And I know that you know that, but be really careful. Catch yourself. If you're thinking about the unfairness at work, stop and think about the great job that you're developing right now. Because if you're out there looking and job hunting and focusing, you already have a great job. It's on its way to you right now. We know that. That's how this works. Something always happens. Something always gives, as long as we keep working on it and moving forward with it. So just be a good steward of your thoughts, Marina, and don't get caught up in anything that might be about unfairness. Just don't get stuck in it. Thank you for your question. Christina says, this exercise is great. I remember learning it from you a while ago, but had forgotten about it and was wondering today how to release others' energy. Well, there you go. Go get the MP3. That way you'll always have it. Easy to do. Oh, Sheila says that I have a beautiful piece of selenite. She has one on her nightstand. I love it. Linda likes my necklace. Linda, this necklace is called the Wild Angel, and it's from David Designs. I got it at a trade show a few years ago, and it has quartz and Herkimer diamonds and garnet and some pink tourmaline in it, and it is by far my most favorite necklace. And I love the name. I mean, what's a wild angel? Yes, please, right? So check out David Designs online. You might actually be able to find this necklace. I don't know. It was one of their designs several years ago, back when I still owned my store and went to trade shows. Okay. Terry, I'm glad you're here. She says she's still taking a while to get used to my show being on Fridays. I know, everyone is, me as well, but it's a lot of fun. Terry says, I'm grateful for a reading today, getting ready for a road trip next month to Arizona and California. Anything I need to be aware of? I've been sensing a presence the last few days. Okay, Terry, let's take a look. Okay. So first, what I see is that this road trip is transformational for you. This is a feed your soul experience that you need so very much. And so who I feel with you actually is Archangel Gabriel. And I feel like he's present with you simply to allay any fears that you might have about your trip, and also to be someone to call upon for safety and for peace of mind as you travel. So don't be afraid to ask for his presence. But I really feel like this is a trip that's going to change everything for you. And it's weird to say that, that one experience might change everything, except that's exactly how it happens. Sometimes one experience does change everything. I feel like this is the one for you. So just be really positive. Call on Archangel Gabriel if you're struggling, or if you're worried, and ask for his support and guidance. But see this as an opportunity to transform, that this trip is just that. So start telling yourself that. See it that way. Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm glad you all like my new lighting. I do too. I like it much better. I feel like I look a lot more like myself on video with this lighting, like what I actually look like in person, versus some of the other lighting is very blue and it washes me out and makes me look really, really pale. And I'm not actually really, really pale. So I like it much better. Sandy says, I'd like to ask, what's the deal with my two male coworkers, S and A, please? They're super friendly and tend to get a little bit too personal. Okay. I feel like they're those kind of guys that are very flirty. They get a real charge from flirting and from feeling like they've made a connection with someone. I don't feel like there's an intention behind it as far as like a relationship is concerned. Excuse me, but I do feel like they're just very flirty and having fun. That being said, I feel like they both have some boundary problems and they feed that in each other. So it's okay for you to set some boundaries with them if they're crossing the line. I don't feel like that there's any like nefarious purposes going on here or anything, but it is something that they're used to doing. They like to get a rise out of people. They really get a charge out of, other people's responses. If they're making you uncomfortable, it's okay to say that. It's okay to set some boundaries with them and not let them push into your life as much as they want to. You don't have to allow that. But just know that that's kind of where they're coming from, okay? Thank you for the question. Oh, yay! Tara in the chat says that is signed up for class. I've been doing healing work for years, but I'm ready to step in fully. I'm looking forward to stepping up my game in this class. Oh, I'm so excited. So that's the Master Healer class, Tara. I'm excited to have you. That's wonderful. Let's see. Good. Okay. So Marina says she's been surrounding herself in a bubble of light and asking Archangel Michael to seal and protect it daily. Good. Very good. Catherine, as I'm settling into my new home, would love an energy scan of the space. Oh, most definitely. I love to do space clearing, Kathy. It's really fun. Or Catherine, sorry. We have a Kathy and a Catherine in here. I've done lots and lots and lots of space clearings in person, but I also do them by distance. It doesn't really matter. I like both because it's fun. Let's see here. So what I feel in your new space is that the energy is fairly flat. Um, so it really just needs a boost. Like there's nothing I would say negative or dark here. It's almost like there's just energy missing, sort of like there's a void here. So I'm going to fill this space up with some really sparkly rainbow light to bring some happiness and some joy. We want peaceful energy, but it needs to be happy, peaceful energy. If it's too flat, then it actually sort of becomes depressed. We want that energy to be nice and high vibrating so that when you walk in the door in this space, you feel good, you feel happy, you're grateful to be home, you feel motivated in this space, you feel like this is a place where you have a sanctuary, but also a place where you can work and become whatever it is that you want to become. And so I'm just seeing that transform now from that flat energy to this high vibrating sparkly energy. A few things I would recommend. I would recommend choosing a candle, and it doesn't matter what color, whatever color you are drawn to, and blessing it with whatever it is that you want in your living space. And then seal it with an oil. Can be any oil. It could be olive oil, lavender oil, whatever. Put your intentions in there. Seal the intentions in with the oil, and then burn that candle all the way down. And that will complete the vibration raising and the shifting that we need to do in that space. Okay. So congratulations on your new space. That's really exciting. Okay, we are just about out of time. I can't believe it. This has gone by so quickly. Thank you all so much for being here and for participating today. You make it so much fun for me to be here and to participate in the chat and on the videos. And I love to hear from you. And you know that I do this because I love you. I want to be here with you. And I appreciate that so very much. I want to remind you, of course, that I do have my 2 classes coming up. So Saturday is my Get the Relationship That You Want class. That's at 9 a.m. Pacific at 12radio or 12academy.com. You can just go there to register. You'll see how to do it. It's easy. And my 16-week Master Healer certification series, which starts on September 3rd. If that's something that you feel drawn to do, please sign up, or send me questions if you have questions about that as well. I'm happy to talk about that. Coming up at the end of August, I will be a guest on Angel with an Edge with Elizabeth Lindsay. Elizabeth took the Master Healer course last time around, and she's having me on her show so that we can talk about it. And some of the other people from that class will be there as well, so that we can talk a little bit about the experience and share with you what it was like. So that is coming up. I'm looking forward to sharing that, because I feel like I've made lifelong friends with the people that took this class, and I know they feel that way about each other. I've heard them talk that way, and we all need that. Healers need healers. We need people like that in our lives to guide us and support us and help us as well. So this is your opportunity, not only to get the skills that you want, but to also create the relationships that you may have been looking for. Well, you guys, I am totally out of time. I just want to say again, thank you so much for being here.